So the way my understanding of how this game works is basically you have two opposing sides competing for area majority. You're going to randomly distribute these little trees into the little square tiles on the board. So we have the pink player and the white player here. You have a bunch of tiles. You're going to randomly take 4 of those and remove them from the game, and they won't be used. And then what you'll do is you'll just take 2 tiles and you'll turn them face up. And then whoever's player 1, which I guess would be on this side, so we'll say the white player, is going to go first in this game. So some things to be aware of is scoring on this game here. So as you might be able to see, I don't know how well you can see, but on here, this shows the 3 different token types. So there's the little family type of token, there's this rockabilly dude here, and then there is this like drunken worker guy or something. And so each one of them has a preference of a type of material they like. So for example, this drunken person guy likes beer, and this rockabilly dude likes the rice balls, and then the family likes these little things here. These images appear on all of the tiles. Colors just for majority. So 2 tiles will come up, and so what you'll do is you'll decide which one you want, where you want to place it. So I'm not going to really do any kind of strategy because I really don't know it. But let's just say as the white player, I'm going to take this beer and I'm going to put this here, and I know that according to this little drunken worker guy likes beers, I'm going to put him on the beer. Then we'll turn over another tile, and then it's the next player's turn. So it's pink's turn, and now they can also take this, they take any one of these tiles. So let's just say they take this one here, and they put this tile over there, and they have put their family on it. So if you are next to a tree, you're going to get 1 point for each tree you're next to. So if this was scoring right now just based on the trees, this person would have 2 points because there's 1 tree on this side and 1 tree on this side. This person would have 0 points as far as trees are concerned because they're not adjacent to any trees. So I'll flip over another tile, and now it's the white player's turn, and if they wanted to, they could try to expand their territory. So if they were going to expand their territory, one thing they'd want to consider is, do they want to come into contact with this family? Because there's you can compete over territory, and you can take over territory. So let's just say he says, you know what, I'm going to put this little rice ball thing here, and I'm going to expand my territory here. So what that does is it gives them 1 point for going here. And then if a pink tile was put here, what would happen is you would see, well, which person has a majority? And so over here, there's a little thing saying the rockabilly person is stronger than the drunken employee. The drunken employee is stronger than the family, and the family is stronger than the rockabilly person. So since he is stronger than them, if a pink tile was put here, he would take over this area. So it would look like, it's like if he did this, this piece would go back to that player section, and now he would control this area. And there is a majority scoring points. Like if you have the biggest pink area or the biggest yellow area or the biggest blue area, you're going to get 5 points for having the largest area. So 2 tiles get turned over, and so now they're both yellow. So what this person could do is they know that if a pink tile is put here, they would lose this spot, which would be essentially giving, not only expanding pink, but giving these 2 points to pink. So if they wanted to, they could take a tile and put it in this area. And they could take, if they wanted to, a yellow tile and place it there, and they could just leave it as that if they wanted to. Or, since the drunken guy likes beer, if they wanted to, they could take one of their drunken employees and put it on there. And this is okay because they are different colors. You can't have more than 1 token on a territory. And so then another one of these would come up, Now, we know that the rockabilly dude is stronger than the drunken guy. So if this person wanted to, they could put this here and then put one of their little rockabilly dudes on it, which could threaten this space of this guy. But that's not really worth a lot of points, so maybe he wouldn't do that. But maybe he'll come over here in between these two trees, and maybe he'll put his little guy on there. Right, and so this is going to go back and forth, and so these tiles will come out, and people will just choose to expand their territories or start new territories if they want to. And so then essentially something like this can happen. The caterpillar could come out, and when you place this, so the trees give 1 point for every tile that's next to it. The caterpillar takes away 2 points. Right, so if this was the pink player's turn, I don't know whose turn it is, but if it was the pink player's turn and he put this right here, now any territory connected to this caterpillar would lose 2 points. So this tile is connected, so that would take 2 points away from here. This tile is connected, so it'd take 2 points away from here. And so now the white player would have -4 points going into final scoring. And so as these tiles come out and they get placed, one of the things you might want to consider when placing a tile, I really don't know what color I'm on, is you also score points for if you have multiple of the same items in a territory. So like if I had, let's say, let's find two things here. So let's say I have a choice. Okay, so I have a choice of these two tiles, and I'm the white. Let's say I'm this white person, and already I have him on his rice balls. If I add another rice ball to this territory, now there's 2 rice balls in a territory where somebody who favors rice balls is, and they're going to get an additional points for that. And the way that works is if you have somebody, so let's say who likes beer is the drunken worker. So if you have a drunken worker in a territory with 1 beer, that's going to get you 1 point. But if you have a drunken worker in a territory with 2 beers, like this, then, and he would be like this, that's going to score him 3 points, right? And this territory could look like this, right? It could have different types of tiles in it. He's only going to score points for the number of beers in this territory. And if there was, where's the other one? Oh, and then if this got added to it, then having 3 beers would give him 5 points. And there's only 3 of each item type per color. So there's only 3 yellow beers, 3 blue beers, 3 pink beers, and what have you. So eventually the board is going to get filled up. So I'll just kind of show you how that would work. All right, so let's just say we're down to the last 2 tiles and you have a situation like this, and it's the white player's turn. So they have a choice of yellow or pink. So if they take this pink tile and they place it here, it's going to combine these 2 areas. And then what will happen is you'll look for dominance. So again, the drunken employee beats the family. So this token would be removed and go back to that player. And then this player would get, the pink person would get their last turn. They have 1 yellow tile, and they'll just take it and place it right here and put this on there like that. And so that'd be the end of the game. And so what you do is you look for majorities, like who has the largest territory. So if we look at blue, this is the largest blue territory because it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots. So they would get 5 points. The largest pink territory is now this one, so white would get 5 points for that. And then the largest white is this one, so they would get 5 points. But let's say, for sake of argument, or just for an example, let's say this was like, let's say the end of the game was like this. And now you had a 3 pink territory, a 3 pink territory, and a 3 pink territory. So those territories are all tied for majority. So then you look to see, well then, which area has the most items in it. So this area has 2 items, this area has 2 items, and this area has 3 items. And so therefore, since there are more items in this territory, white would get the majority for this. And then I believe if one of these also, let's say this one also had 3 items in it, and it was a tie that way, I think what happens is then nobody gets the points, or you both get the points, which is the equivalent of nobody getting the points. So that's my understanding of it, if I recall. So then we would just total up the final score. So I'll do the large majorities first. So here is 5 points for this large majority. Then I'm going to see how many trees it's next to. It's next to 1, 2 trees, so that's 7 points. It's next to a caterpillar, so that's minus 2 points, so that's back down to 5. And then we're going to see how many beers are in this section, since it has a guy who likes beer in here. And there are 2. Again, 1 beer is 1 point, 2 beers is 3 points, 3 beers is 5 points. So we're at 5 points plus 3 would be 8 points. And then that person would get 8 points for that section. And then you can just take that section off of the board. Okay, and so then if I looked at this section here for white, they would get 1 point for being next to the tree. The family likes this thing, but it's only 1 of that tile, so that's another point. So white would get 2 points for that. White here has a family in this section. It has 2 of the items it likes, so that's 3 points. Plus being next to the tree is 4 points, and that would score that one, and so on and so forth, right? So like this one here, this family is in here, it gets 1 point for having an item that they like, plus 2 points for being next to the tree. So that is 3 points, but they're next to the caterpillar, which takes away 2 points. That would give them just 1 point. And you keep doing this, right? This beer guy would get 1 point for this, plus 2 points for being next to the tree. So that's a total of 3 points for that territory, and so on and so forth. And you just score that way, and the person with the most points is the winner.